Hello, wonderful people, viewers and subscribers all over the world. It is Tim Yasuchino Peters, the voice of the people, the voice of God, the voice of our ancestors. I'm back again to hit it hard on the truth as usual, as inspired. Those of you who had the opportunity to watch my radio tour 2 days ago will attest to the fact that I made it explicitly clear that Nigerians, especially the Igbos, are slavishly industrious. And I told you how. And I also pointed out clearly why corruption and impunity will not end in Nigeria, even among the Nigerian populace. And since after that live broadcast, which was also published on our YouTube, we streamed it live on our YouTube platform, it's beginning to make impact. I've started seeing it. I've started hearing people saying exactly the same thing. People of like minds are waking up to wake other Nigerians up, because last now average Nigerian be the victim of Nigeria. Now I want you to listen to this man. Maybe now your own go wake you up from your slumber. I'll be right back.
And I dare say this: you're spending nothing less than 60% of your income educating your children. My father did not spend 5% of his income educating me because the Nigerian state had a functional educational system. Even your megads send their children to private schools now. Nobody goes to the government hospitals anymore. Everybody. So when Abiola was talking, he was still talking within a system that had some measure of normalcy within which people could function as human beings. The average Nigerian has been dehumanized to the point where you can even begin to question his humanity. It is the abandonment of the people to their own fate and the erection of a system that exists solely for the protection of the powerful and the promotion of their interest. Who is looking for the poor man? And the poor man, having lost the capacity to think because he had been impoverished ab initio by the weaponization of ignorance. An ignorant man is doomed to poverty. When you have now gone to the point where the average man on the Nigerian street does not even know what he can do to drag himself out of the perpetual poverty into which he had been locked by the system, even when you try to do, a friend of mine said the other day, he said almost every avenue for legitimate improvement in Nigeria has been blocked off. It's almost as if you are even being begged to go and become a criminal by the state itself, because you'll be punished for your honesty by the Nigerian state. So exactly what are we talking about? Because in the age in which he lived, Nigeria had not become the predatory state that it has become today. What you will find today is that the Nigerian state has deliberately weaponized poverty against its people. I use the word it because you really can't call Nigeria a motherland. If it were to be a mother, it would be a cannibalistic mother. And if it's a father, it's a most irresponsible father. You have 14 million children trampling the streets of Nigeria, most of them drug addicted. No future, nothing in front of them. Walking the street. That is the population of a lot of countries. What about your guards? What about all the people who walk around you? COVID is the leveler. Everybody will harvest this. But here is the point. As long as we continue to fool ourselves into thinking that we can somehow appoint wolves to guard the flock and then expect that the wolves will become vegetarians, we deny the evidence of our own eyes. We see these things and yet we deny it. Oshie Omole spoke these words. They're out in the open, it's all over the place, and yet the same man comes out and is preaching to the people that the man he testified was a thief. Anyway, thinking about it though, how can Oshie Omole testify to the character of anybody?
Okay.
How does that change the price of pomo in the market or change the price of gari for the poor man on the street who is busy battling the problems of COVID-19, the irresponsibilities of government? Is just another distraction. Wake me up the day they formally charge Magu to court like he has been busy chasing small boys, small fries who have stolen 500,000, 200,000, 1 million naira. And the real thieves are around and he knows them. We all know them and nobody do anything about those ones. So if they have now woken up and they feel that it's time to distract the people and then be chasing Magu around to have some fun, it doesn't interest me. Frankly speaking, it's of no benefit to the Nigerian people. There is nothing there. It's just another distraction. They're having their family squabble. Nothing will happen to Magu. Absolutely nothing will happen to him. I can tell you ahead of time. So please, let's not fool ourselves. It's just a circus. Do not die in their war. It's their war. They have no interest in the people. The same... Look, let me put it this way. God forbid that we have to continue abiding with this set of rulers by 2023. But don't be surprised if you find that by 2023, these characters have decided that Nigeria is better ruled by a one-party system that would now encompass each and every one of them, because in reality, you do not have any sort of ideology separating anyone. This is yet another example of the fact that the Nigerian people do not matter in the calculation of the rulers of Nigeria. All that matters to them at any point in time, the only thing that is constant and never shifts, their own interests. Those interests have nothing to do with religion. They don't remember religion when they are identifying their interests. They don't remember tribes. The only people for whom they always emphasize these differences are the people themselves. If you see the way the Nigerian state has dehumanized the Nigerian people to the point where life has become discounted, what you then begin to realize is that before that day will come, several implosions, such as the ones that are already happening, would continue to happen. However, some of us had the benefit of living in a Nigeria where it was possible to move across the class line because the state was equitable to an extent. We still dealt with that because I grew up in the age when you began the institutionalization of the madness that has turned Nigeria into the madhouse that it has become today. It was in my age. I was a victim of educationally disadvantaged state, quota stupid systems, all those systems and isms, everything that the institutionalization of the injustice that destroyed the fabric of Nigeria happened as I was growing up. So here is the thing. For Nigeria to ever retrace its steps, Nigerians hate hearing this, but it's inevitable. There has to be a complete turnaround. I needed to lay a foundation for what I really have to say. And what I have to say is very simple. Do not die in their war. Choose your own war in which to die. We will all die someday. That is the one thing that is available to each and everybody. Rich, poor, tall, short, it doesn't matter. We would all die. So if I'm going to die, I'm not going to die in their own war. I will pick my own war in which I will die.
You saw him, he made it simple. He made it clear. It is not ambiguous for you to understand. That is exactly what we have been hammering on this platform. This is exactly why every Nigerian must unite with his people to solve their problem. Because last, I'm gonna be the victim. Now you have understood why your education is not working. Now you understand why the health sector have failed. Why these men have decided to take their children abroad to school, to go for medical trip abroad. They have medical insurance abroad. That's why they go with heavy security, because they have made Nigeria a den of thieves. Yes. Yes. How can you not push to be corrupt? Everything you touch in Nigeria is corruption. Everything in Nigeria will make you to be corrupt, even as an individual. Because you have to take your children to private schools. And let me remind you, in case you pride yourself, you take your children to private schools. Most of the private schools you see today, they don't employ qualified teachers, trained teachers. I know what I'm talking about. Most of the teachers in private schools, especially in primary schools, nursery, primary, and secondary schools, are just school leavers, secondary school leavers, or OND, or even students on IT. They are not trained to be teachers. That's why and how we buy a useless future for our children. Very, very expensive. And you pride yourself. You take your child to private school. The foundation of every child is laid at that primary school level. You take your children there, you teach them garbage. Because of the packaging, you pay through your nose. Yet, you can't get better education from private schools in Nigeria. They pay their teachers 15,000 naira, 10,000. Now tell me, a teacher that is being 10,000, 15,000 naira a month, tell me what is he or she is going to impact, the kind of knowledge is going to impact on your children. In the name of private school, packaging. And this is because public schools has failed. Because if you go to public schools, they will send your children to farm. Go to public schools, if you haven't put in a now, this private sector is now exploiting the failure of government. And who is at the receiving end? The ordinary people. And what are the ordinary people doing? They are presinging the very people that have diverted the fund that would have equipped the educational sector, that have diverted the fund that would have equipped the hospital, that would have created jobs for your children. You see, somebody made a statement, and I'm concluding from that end, that Nigerians deserve Nigeria. They deserve each other. But we cannot continue like this. That is why I am doing what I am doing. Thank God many people are joining to wake others up. Probably there will be hope at the end of this journey. That there we see light at the end of this tunnel. Because last, now be the victim. Now I don't talk my own. Now it is expected of you to take this truth to everyone around you so that they stop priding themselves because you are slavishly industrious. And at the end, you will still hand over a useless system, a useless future, a useless environment to your children. Very expensive one at a very high price. Take this message to everyone around you. Make sure everyone sees this. Keep sharing it. That is the only way it can penetrate. I must tell you, it is making impact. Thank you for watching. If you're new on this platform, welcome on board. This is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you undiluted truth as inspired. Thank you so much. But most importantly, stay safe. Goodbye.